This first item is a Roku Ready 50-inch diagonal 4K HD TV. I purchased this television and used it for about 6 months when I lived in Oahu, packed it away in a box and shipped it to Big Island, where it's been in storage ever since. This item is called the Big Red Jack. It handles 3 tons. This particular jack is made especially for lifting larger vehicles like trucks, vans, and SUVs. It has an additional attachment that will give you the ground clearance you need when working on those types of vehicles. This one's practically brand new. I got it here when I moved to Big Island, and we've only used it twice. This next item is the Black & Decker Workmate. This short video will show you the versatility that you get when using a Workmate, and 2 of these come in the deal. This is an actual picture of one of them. Workmates can hold a lot of odd-shaped size items, and it's easy to store away and easy to set up. Okay, this item here, this is made by Worx, W-O-R-X. This set comes with 3 batteries and 2 chargers. You get an electric hedge climber and electric weed whacker. Did I say hedge climber? I meant hedge trimmer. Okay, next item is the Vevor digital ultrasonic cleaner. Ultrasonic cleaners have been around for probably close to 100 years. They use high-frequency sound waves to clean things, and you can clean anything with an ultrasonic cleaner, from fabric to greasy metal parts and most anything in between. This particular model comes with a built-in heater, so you can heat the item that you're cleaning if you need to do that. It has a built-in timer. Most items can be cleaned in 10 minutes or less. Sometimes it takes a little longer. I bought this particular unit mainly for doing laundry off-grid. It only takes 10 minutes to do a load of laundry, and it'll hold 8 gallons of water, and to me that was a lot more fun than using a plunger and a 5-gallon plastic bucket to do the laundry. Ultrasonic cleaners don't necessarily need any kind of cleaning solution. Many times you can just use water. People have used other things such as alcohol and kerosene, depending on what it is that you're cleaning. There's the basket that goes inside, so you can put the items in a basket and lower them down in the water or cleaning solution, and when it's done you just lift the basket up out of the ultrasonic cleaner, and the dirt and so forth stays inside the cleaner, just like a regular washing machine. People have used these to clean things that are very, very fine, such as watches, eyeglasses, rings, intricate jewelry, things that you don't want to get harmed when you clean them, and even glass that is foggy. You can put an ultrasonic cleaner and it'll clean it up for you, as long as the glass hasn't been scratched. And the neat thing about the ultrasonic cleaner is that it won't scratch your objects. There's a demo here to show, and this looks like a carburetor, and it's ultra filthy, and it's going to be put in a clear tank, like an aquarium tank, that has ultrasonic sound waves from a transducer placed in the tank to clean ultrasonically, and you can actually watch the cleaning take place. And this is going to be a 10-minute run. You can see it vibrating, and there it is after 10 minutes. Now, this next item, I became aware that people were using hydrogen for health purposes, and there's over 100 different medical studies that have been done like this one that you can find on the website for the National Institute of Health here in the USA, of people who have experimented with using hydrogen, both for drinking the hydrogen and inhaling it. And this particular article that you can find on the National Institute of Health website, by the way, that website is called PubMed. That's PUBMED. And you can go there and find all sorts of medical studies that were done by drug industry representatives, scientists, and researchers. At any rate, this one talks about how using hydrogen inhalation and drinking to combat things like lung damage due to things like COVID and SARS and even asthma and so on. I got interested in this, so I decided to put together my own unit rather than spend $2,000 or $3,000 for some of the units that you'll see here. These are commercial units. From my studies, I learned that I could buy something, and that something was this. Now, this is normally called a water welder. This is a hydrogen generator that is used to generate the same type of hydrogen gas in these other machines, and it's used for welding. There's a torch that attaches to this, and by the way, you'll get the hoses and the torch to go along with this in case you wanted to do some intricate welding for welding jewelry and things like that. They call it a micro welder. It's also used for polishing plastic that gets foggy. At any rate, I purchased this unit for just a few $100s, and I got the hoses and other accessories that were needed so I could use this for making hydrogen for drinking and also for inhalation. The hoses and the other items were available really inexpensively off of Amazon, and they're normally sold for inhaling oxygen, so they worked fine for this particular purpose, and I use this unit for hydrogen therapy. Of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm not suggesting that you do this. I'm just explaining what I did, and anything involving your health you need to work out with your chosen healthcare provider. And this is just a single burner hot plate that I purchased from Walmart. This hot plate was hooked up directly to solar panels without anything between the plate and the panels. I just hooked the wires from the solar panel right to the outlet plug, and I was able to get the hot plate to heat up and even boil water. So this worked out really good for off-grid. You do need pretty high voltage panels in order to make this work. I had hooked several panels together in order to get enough voltage to light up this hot plate. This is a brand new juicer. It's a slow juicer, meaning that it actually squeezes the juice out of the vegetables rather than grinding the vegetables really fast. They call it a masticating juicer, as if it's chewing the vegetables up to get the juice out. And the advantage to that is that you don't heat the juice, so it's much, much more nutritious. It is still in the box, and I have never had the opportunity to use it as of yet. This is a Hamilton Beach blender. This one was purchased especially because it only required 700 watts of power, which made it excellent to use off-grid. And the other thing I like about it is this blender comes with a glass jar instead of plastic. It's much, much healthier to use a blender that comes with glass instead of plastic. That way you're not having any danger of getting plastic into your smoothies or whatever else it is that you're blending. This is an induction heater cooktop, 1,800 watts. I've used this about 5 times. The solar system this was hooked to really didn't have quite enough power to run this unit at its full power. But here it is with a 3-quart pot on it full of basmati rice, just so you get an idea of the size of the unit. This is the Gas One dual fuel cook stove. It works off of propane or butane, and I have 2 of them. This one is brand new in the box and has never been used. And this is a propane adapter that you can use for a regular size propane tank to refill the small propane bottles. And this is a propane adapter hose with a regulator on it. Here we have the HyperTough 24 volt lithium ion battery cordless circular saw. And there's a picture of the saw inside the box. It comes with the charger and the battery, and this has been used 3 times. This is the Bauer cordless electric drill. Comes with the charger and the battery, and I purchased extra add-on drill bits and accessories to go with it, including this titanium nitride Forstner drill bit set. This is excellent for drilling perfect holes in wood and plastics. And then also the step drill bit set. You get 50 different size holes using just these 5 drills. And they're high speed. Again, you're dealing with, I believe it's titanium nitride coating, and they work great. Also included is a 16-piece hole saw set for drilling holes in wood. I believe this is going up to probably 4 or 5 inches. And here is angle grinder. Everybody needs an angle grinder. I had some grinding wheels to go with it, but with angle grinders you want to buy new grinding wheels to make sure you're getting something that's not chipped or cracked, and they're pretty cheap. So this is a 120 volt angle grinder. Here we have a C-clamp and a bench vise. The bench vise is brand new. The C-clamp has been used a few times. Armor All 12 volt car vacuum cleaner. I've used this once. This is a Stanley battery charger, 40 amp, for charging car and truck batteries. It also has a desulfator circuit built in, so you can desulfate batteries that sometimes act like they don't want to take a charge. And the whole unit is computerized. It got diagnostics built in, and I've used this particular item, I think, 3 times. This is the JCB Impact Hammer Drill. This is a very, very, very heavy tool, and a heavy duty tool, being that it's an impact hammer type drill. You have to be very careful with using it. It generates a lot of torque, and I've used this once. This is a HyperTough 2 amp palm sander, and it comes with a dust bag, so you don't have to breathe in the sanding dust of whatever it is you're sanding. This is a vacuum pump brake bleeder kit. If you need to bleed your brakes, you don't need more than 1 person. You can do it all by yourself with this particular kit. So you can bleed, if you change your brakes, you can bleed them yourself, and you don't need anybody else to help you. You can just make it a 1-person operation. This item has never been used, and I actually purchased it. I was going to use it for creating vacuums for other experiments I was going to do. And here we go with the scaffolding. These are 6-foot scaffolds. These are standard scaffolding you'll find at Home Depot, Lowe's, and places like that. And they come with the caster wheels. You get 2 of these scaffolds. Here it is where I'm showing. I'm just using it for shelving right now. I've used these scaffolds once. After that, I left them up for shelving. The brown material you saw on one of these is actually part of the cardboard box that stuck to the scaffold. This is a 6-piece tap and die set, and also a box of 50 carbon steel DeWalt anchor bolts, and these are 3 inches long. These are ratchet straps, and there's 2 bags full of them. I believe these hold 300 pounds. This next item is a mandolin slicer for slicing vegetables and fruits, making French fries, slicing up cabbage and other vegetables to use to make your own probiotics, which is what I mainly used it for. I've used it about 6 times, and this device comes with a lifetime warranty from the manufacturer. You do have to be careful with it. The blades are very, very, very sharp. And there it is in the blade box that they store in. Next is the Vivor still. This is a still for making whiskey, wine, also for distilling your own perfumes, essential oils. I used it one time and I was making distilled water. It comes with a condenser. A lot of stills you buy don't come with the condenser. This one does, and I believe there's also a pump included, so you can pump cold water through it to help the condenser work even more efficiently. Gorilla cart. This particular cart is really great because the wheels on it aren't that hard plastic stuff. These are genuine tires that require air pressure, so it makes it much easier to wheel this around, and it also acts as a dump. You pull the handle on the front and it swivels up so you can dump the load out. Handles about 300 pounds. This is a Minn Kota trolling motor, and it comes with the additional brush guard to protect the blades, to keep weeds from wrapping around it. This has never been used in the ocean. I used this to test an idea for an off-grid washing machine, and I decided to go with the ultrasonic unit instead, and just put this in storage. This has 5 forward speeds and 3 reverse speeds. This is a 7 cubic foot freezer, and this is a turkey fryer. I believe it's 30 quarts. I've used it once, and that was to boil water. You just hook your propane tank to it, and you can boil seafood, fry turkeys, whatever you would like to do. This keyboard is the M-Audio KeyStation 88. This is not a synthesizer. This is a workstation, meaning you hook this to a computer, you download the software from their website, and it'll allow you to compose full orchestrations of any kind of music you can imagine, and use this particular keyboard to control any kind of sound that you can imagine. Anything from grand piano to drums, you name it, they got it, and you can control it all with this workstation. It's a 21-speed, 29-inch on-road, off-road bicycle with disc brakes. I purchased the bike when I was living in Honolulu, and I had it disassembled at the bicycle shop and placed in a bicycle shipping box, and it's been in storage ever since. The only thing different than what's on the picture is that I purchased fenders to go on the bike, so when you ride in the rain, the water doesn't end up splashing up on your back or in your face and getting your clothes wet. The fenders catch the water and direct it back down to the ground. This is the van. It's a year 2000 Ford Econoline. I purchased this van in Honolulu, had it shipped here, and I was able to use it for 6 months before the steering broke on it. The steering box actually pulled through the frame. I purchased it from a guy that went surfing a lot, and he didn't check and spray under it thorough enough to remove the salt water from when he went to the beach. And there was a place on the frame where the water got between the steering box bolts, and I'll show you a photo of that here shortly. And eventually the bolts rusted and pulled right through the frame. Thankfully I wasn't driving when that happened. I was sitting in the Walmart parking lot, and I simply got the van with all my groceries and supplies towed back here to the property. I also put tarps on top of the van because there was a small leak that developed on the windshield, and also at the very back of the van with the door closed near the roof line. I didn't want to risk any water getting to things that were stored in the van, so I just tarped the whole top of it and taped it down to prevent water from getting in. There's the actual mileage on the van, and there's a picture showing that the van is stuffed full of stuff. And there's the stand for the keyboard, as well as a lot of other items. This is the photo that shows the steering box mounting area. I removed the front tire in order to get a clear shot of this. There's also airbag shock absorbers on this van, as you can see in the picture. You see the coil spring, and inside the coil is this airbag special type of shock. I'm not really well versed on exactly what those do, but it's supposed to be a premium item. At any rate, you can see the damage on the frame where the steering box bolts, and I was told by someone who came out and looked at it that they could weld another piece of metal over this and drill it and get new bolts and remount the steering box onto the frame, and the van would be able to steer again. The engine and transmission on this van are in very, very good shape. There's a Coleman Power Steel Deluxe 18-foot by 4-foot deep above ground swimming pool. I purchased this, placed it on a pallet, and triple wrapped it in plastic and tarps, and it's just been sitting that way for about a year and a half. Original purchase cost was $650. I recently decided to unpack it enough to see what shape it was in. I'm sure it was in good shape, and the box had degraded due to humidity buildup. But as you can see from the photos, the pool itself is fine. It's a swimming pool. They're meant to handle moisture, and a lot more moisture than what it was exposed to being wrapped up and sitting on a pallet. The metal components inside the box show absolutely no rust, and most of it is made out of plastic and other materials that don't rust anyway. This item is an agricultural building. Some people call them greenhouses. I purchased this at an auction on the mainland and had it shipped here. It's 20 feet wide by 30 feet long. And as you can see, it's developed some surface rust. And a lot of this isn't even rust, but red cinder dust from the volcano. Since I'm so close by, I was really curious about this because these are made out of galvanized steel, and galvanized steel doesn't rust that readily. I also have a water trough I purchased from Lowe's made of galvanized steel, and it had the same look to it on the inside in the water, but it wasn't looking like that on the outside. I could actually see particles of red cinder in the water, and I was able to filter it out to determine that's exactly what it was. So what I'm getting at is this is still a structurally sound unit, and somebody needs to take advantage of this. All the hardware, all the parts are here that make it up, including the support feet and the box it came in, and that's the plastic cover, and there's a support feet for it. And last in this list, these are brackets made to put together a pyramid. It was given to me as a gift. What you do is you lay these brackets out on the ground and you use 10-foot lengths of EMT tubing or plastic tubing, and just slide the tubing over the supports, and you end up with a pyramid that looks like this. Well, that's it for now. There's many items that are in the van that I haven't taken pictures of, but this is an awesome deal, and sometimes it's worth it just to be a blessing to somebody else. Well, you got the phone number to call. Again, that's 808-300-8737. If we don't answer the phone, leave a voicemail with your name, your number, and a good time to call you back, and we will do that promptly. So we can arrange to have you come out to the property and pick up the merchandise, bring cash, and a positive mental attitude with plenty of aloha. God bless, and have a wonderful day.